I reached out to my tech guy. I was like, they said I can record. Should I just use my phone? He's like, no. I'm gonna bring you a nice GoPro and make sure you have it set up nicely. So.
All right. So what do you guys offer here? Like, what's your main idea? Just fitness in general, or just like a rehabilitation after an injury, getting started, recuperating after something, or just overall just a gym?
Yeah, I would say a little bit of all of that. Really, my goal here is to bring fitness and strength together to help people as they age. And in a general sense as well, I want to give a place for people to call home for their gym. They feel comfortable to come in and work out. And so at all ages, fitness is something that's very, very necessary for just overall health, right? And I'd like to tie in working with physical therapists in the past for my own little injuries. One of the things they focus on is strength. They're going to try to strengthen around the injured joint or strengthen around to help your body compensate, but also to help with balance. And so a focus on strength here, but as well as health and wellness. So we're bringing in, so you're interviewing me in a kind of an interesting point, right? I'm building out a space. We've got an operational outdoor space, but we're about to introduce a lot of new things that we haven't had in the past. And that's going to be more that wellness side. Cold plunge and sauna area, compression, boots for your legs to help with circulation. We're going to have an infrared sauna that has red light therapy. We're going to have sublet spaces. We got a massage therapist, an esthetician, and a physical therapist that are coming in. We're going to be offering protein smoothies and potentially protein coffee, which is really cool. And then the gym is going to be set up focused on working out, of course, but everything else is there to assist you in your workout. So you go in to break your body down with lifting, but then you have all these other options to build your body back afterwards so you can build back stronger.
Yeah. Obviously, you talked about kind of what you guys do offer here and what you're planning on offering. How would you say that's going to specifically be like structured into that format where like you guys open, you guys close, like the timing of everything, like if you're going to constantly, like you talked about that protein coffee, if that's just going to be a morning option or like what is the ins and outs?
So are you looking for like our general daily operations? Okay. So what I have in mind right now is we'll open up in the morning time and we'll close in the evening, but the gym itself will be 24/7. So members will be able to utilize this space 24/7. Now they'll have limited access to things after hours, of course. We won't have the smoothie bar open up at midnight. That'll be open only during the daytime operations. The sublet spaces that I'm going to have in here, they're going to be on their own schedule, so I don't know what that looks like. But most of them are small business owners, and they're there to help out in whatever capacity they have. So if someone needs to come in at 8 o'clock at night to get a massage and they're available to do that, they're probably going to assist. The cold plunge and sauna area is not going to be 24/7, but we are going to have an infrared sauna separate that is going to be accessible 24/7. So really, what you can access at any time, 24/7, 365, is going to be working out on weights, working out on cardio, pushing sleds on the turf, obviously access to the bathrooms and showers and locker rooms. We'll probably have some drinks available 24/7 as well, maybe a vending machine set up. But then like the smoothie bar, you'll have to come in during daytime hours. And we'll probably push the coffee, the peak hours that people want coffee, which is going to be morning time, maybe late afternoon after, 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and the extra pick me up. But kind of excited about the protein coffee because I know some places offer it.
I've really heard of it before.
It's
Starbucks just added it.
They just added it, but they probably have a lot of sugar in it.
It's not as good, actually.
It's not as good. Yeah. So you gotta walk into it a little bit open-minded. It's not gonna be
No,
the
yeah.
frou-frou, swirly drink with a bunch
just
of
like
whipped
kinda
cream on
like-
top.
It's odd because it's not like protein and coffee mixed together. It's like you'll take a sip and you get like just protein, or you'll take a sip and it'll be like just coffee.
Oh man, they messed up.
Yeah.
Instead of like
So
blending
you
it.
gotta blend it
Yeah.
hot. You gotta blend it hot. And if it's iced, if you're gonna get an iced version, then we gotta blend it hot and then put the ice in,
That's
or else
interesting.
that protein probably won't mix as well.
Yeah.
Um,
it's like in the cold form too. So it's like kinda
yeah.
odd.
So
That kind of sounds like if you were to drink like hot chocolate or something, you just get like
the
hot
clumps
water
of
and then
he
just
didn't mix
clumps
it
of
as
the
well.
powder.
Yeah, I wonder if it's how they're mixing it too.
It's probably maybe a free serve where they hand you like that wood stick and you just
Yeah.
gotta.
Yeah. So most protein powders are easily dissolvable, and even more easily dissolvable with hot, in a hot water. The great thing about it is that the protein's already flavored. It already has a sweetness to it, and it's usually a low sugar option. So you can have a great tasting coffee with almost no sugar in it.
Have you always seen yourself owning a gym? Like earlier you talked about, we were talking about some friend or guy, and you said you went to the Army. Did you always see yourself coming back and owning a gym, or did you think you were going to like finance or like a different kind of business, entrepreneurship?
Definitely not finance. I'm not
That's
great
first
with
thing in my
numbers
head.
like that. I was good at math, and in fact, I was in the Navy, and I was in the nuclear Navy, so I worked with nuclear reactors, and so I was good at math to begin with. Was completely disappointed in how terrible I was at math actually when I went into that level of schooling. I made it through though. I got through. I graduated and went off and served 2 deployments on my first ship, and then I ended up on my second ship during a refuel. So they go through the dry dock. Basically, they bring a ship in, they put it up on blocks, and they send all the water out so that they can work on all areas of the ship. And then they refuel the reactors with the new fuels. It's a great question because when I first opened in 2020, I made the announcement on social media, and I still was connected to some people that I served with, and a fella in particular that I used to stand watch with in the middle of the night overseas. He reached out and said, "Man, I'm so proud of you. Like, I remember us talking about this at the middle of the night." And I didn't even remember that. So I think it was really cool that he brought that up because I had been talking about it for 10 years before I opened it up. I just didn't think about it.
That's really interesting.
But I did pursue a career with Duke Energy. I worked as a subcontractor for 5 years for Pike Engineering, and never got picked up with Duke, and just made the decision in 2019 to open up the gym.
What was like the turning point like in your mind like that made you want to open a gym, like the one that you own? Like what was like your inspiration or like your drive to that?
That's a good question too. I relate it to being like hit with a brick wall. And that sounds bad, but it's not like in a bad way. It hit me like there's a term, like a
Hit you
sack
like a
of potatoes, or
train?
it was like epiphany, yeah. But I really do feel like it hit me. And then I started looking for spaces, and it was just like, I don't know what this is, but I'll look for some spaces. I found a space and wanted to visit it. And my wife was pregnant with my youngest at the time, and I said, "Hey, babe, I think I'm going to open up a gym." And she's like, "What?" And then, a couple hours later, she kind of came back to me. She said, "All right, if we're going to do this, let's do it right." And so I started pursuing that, got as much as I could together as one, I've never had any business experience, and started pursuing spaces and had no money and was like, how am I going to do this? And everything just laid out to where in 2020 I got my LLC, and then I found a space and I locked the lease in, the same week that COVID was announced.
Oh.
Yeah. So what grade were y'all in when
We were like
fifth grade?
fifth, sixth grade
Yeah.
when it was like.
It hit us in like end of fifth
Fifth.
grade and then like majority of sixth
I
grade.
wouldn't even say
All of
that.
sixth grade.
I would say like maybe April of fifth grade.
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah,
was.
like I remember the
Last
day like
section.
when
It
my
was in
church and my
March.
school and like all these things in my life
Yep.
shut down like the same week, and I was
the
like
entirety of sixth grade after that.
insane.
My teacher just basically like he had us all like we were kind of like grouped together with tables and
Mhm.
everything, and he basically like sat us down and he's like, you know, there's this thing going around and they
Yeah.
call it COVID, and so we don't know what it is or what it's supposed to look like, but we know that we're going to be out of school for 2 weeks,
Yeah. That
and
was it. It was 2 weeks. That's why I signed the lease.
because you
'Cause
thought it was
I
gonna,
thought it was only gonna be 2 weeks, and I knew I needed a few months to build it out. Yeah.
How did COVID impact your gym? Because you said you like just started out. Like,
Mhm.
how was it like devastating, or was it just kind of a workaround? How did that really impact your like mentality with it as well?
Yeah. It's hard to tell because I wasn't operational before COVID was announced, and then when I did open up, all the other gyms around us had already opened back up. And the county, Henderson County, was pretty forward with getting everything open up and helping small business owners open back up. So I don't know if I necessarily was affected by COVID in that sense of the other businesses that had to shut down and stop charging members and stop making revenue during this time when they weren't allowed to be in the space. I was fortunate to have a few months to build out, and so I took that time when everything was down to pursue the build out, and then fortunate enough to be in a county that was willing to not pursue shutting down businesses and allowed us to open up when we did, because we opened up in June, so May 31st of 2020 we had our grand opening, and it was huge. So not to say that it wasn't easy. Small business is very difficult to get through. The first 5 years is always hard. I grew that gym pretty well over the 5 years that I was there, and then I decided to do something wild again and pursue this space, and now we're in another dip of revenue and just how things work. Like our day-to-day operations right now are not normal. We're in a very odd place, but it's all to pursue something grand, and that's what this space is going to offer, that grand experience. And so we're shooting for, and of course I announced this space when I got the lease and was going to be like, we're going to open up this summer, and here we are. So I've had a lot of ups and downs after I got this space, and things are moving forward just slower than I expected.
Wait, so this is your second
Mhm.
space? Okay.
Yeah, I opened up over by the Boys and Girls Club
Okay.
in 2020.
what would you say is one of the most rewarding aspects of working in this business, and for those employees who are thinking about working in a gym environment?
Yeah, that's a great question, because outside of business, outside, like people that don't put themselves in the shoes of a business owner, may not fully grasp what this means. But and I think more business owners getting on interviews like this and expressing what it means to them can help kind of bridge that gap for people. But truly, it's the effect that I have on people, and when they come to me and they say, your gym changed my life, that's what truly matters. It's not the money coming in, and it really, like, I've not made a lot of money in this business. I hope one day that I will make a good living off of this. That's the goal, to be able to support my family and create something for my grandkids someday. I've got two young daughters. I've got a 12-year-old and a 6-year-old, and I want them to, like, I grew up very poor. I wasn't like dirt poor, but I grew up in a trailer, and you know, I was the youngest, so I got all the hand-me-downs, and we got used clothes, and I had to work for my first car and pay for it myself. Um, I don't want my daughters to live in a world where they need. I'd like to be able to choose what their wants are, you know, not for them, but give them the opportunity to choose their wants. But I don't want them to have to choose between a need and a want. I want the needs to be covered. And same for my wife. My wife is, you know, she's got her own business, and she's working hard on that. But I don't want her to I want her to pursue her business because she loves to do it, not because we need money, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
does.
My mom has a
Yeah.
quilting business.
Okay.
And she just started pursuing it because
Yeah.
we're like, you know, she was like, yeah, I really enjoy this. And we're like, let's do it. You should do
Yeah.
it.
It's truly incredible to be able to to make a living off of something you love to do.
Yeah. So how does the community around here affect you, like in Hendersonville? Do you think there's a strong like gym community, or do you see a lot of support with other small businesses in this community?
Yeah. There is a big movement in the fitness industry, and it's, you know, we're seeing it more here. I'm seeing a lot more younger kids getting into working out. I worked out as a kid, and that's really what started my pursuit into strength. And I got into powerlifting in my younger 20s while I was in the Navy. But the community here is pretty awesome. They've been super supportive of this move. At the old place, I wasn't as well known, but one of the reasons I chose this place is because it is out in front of everybody, and so since I announced it, we've been included in a lot of stuff with the city, and other businesses. Even like Chick-fil-A has included us in a lot of stuff. We've got a good relationship there. I'm working towards working with more businesses on the Acosta Trail because we're attached to it.
Yes, yeah. It's a really good
And
spot.
you know, it just opened up this year, and there's already been a huge, you know, rush of people to support the trail. I think that the fitness industry is going to just keep expanding. The reports are that nationally it's going to keep expanding, so there's no reason why it shouldn't keep expanding here. I've also feel like I've seen this area has gotten younger. So if you just look at the average age of people around here, there's a lot bigger younger generation than there was in the past. And that's going to bring about more businesses that want to serve the younger generation, which is a lot of them are in the fitness world. So, you know, I made a very strategic decision to move into this space to serve the growing fitness community.
With the Acosta Trail, you mentioned
Mhm.
that. How do you think that's going to help, or do you think it could hurt your business because there are a bunch of other businesses opening up, or do you think it's going to just, with all the new businesses coming out with the Acosta Trail, I know personally there's a brewery that's near my house that's Flourish Trailside.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to flourish with all the Acosta Trail, or do you think more like attention is going to be brought away from it?
That's a good question, and a good observation. Trailside has blown up a lot with the trail, and so even the city has noticed that, and the city's moving towards getting more attention this route. Excuse me, I had a tickle in my throat. So I don't think it's going to hurt my business. There isn't another gym that I know of on the trail. So I don't think that's going to be something, but I don't build my business off of the trail, right? I've got the bike rentals, which is going to be a service we offer here. And that potentially could be hurt if enough businesses come in and drowned out. But it being an added service versus my main business, that's okay. I can have the bikes. We can have good standard operating procedures to offer the bikes. And if there's a lot of people renting bikes or not, it's okay because the gym stands alone on itself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
What would you say is like some of the best advice, either weightlifting wise or life advice, to high school students just within the general community?
Yeah, great question. Weightlifting advice: do it, and pursue doing it well. Be consistent in your fitness. Be consistent in life, and you'll be able to grow your life around that consistency. But also, don't be afraid to try new things. I pursued powerlifting and took it to a very high level. My best squat is 881 pounds. I don't know anybody else around here that squatted that much. And not to say that there couldn't be, but it is a high level. I was number 12 in the world in 2021. And I've gotten away from it. My last competition was in 2022. And I'm pursuing more health for myself and my family. But if you treat your life like you treat your workouts and just consistent and showing up every day, you'll be able to grow things in your life like you would grow muscle. And while it does take time, the end result is something you'll never regret doing a workout. You'll never regret growing your life.
That's great advice. Thank
I
you.
really like that.
So back to kind of what you mentioned in 2021, you said you were number 12 in the world.
Yeah.
Was there at any point where you possibly considered like a world championship or Olympic approach, being so highly ranked out of 6.7 billion people?
Yeah. So the sport of powerlifting hasn't made it into the Olympics yet. They have the Paralympics, which is bench press only, but I would have to have no use of my legs, and I still have use of my legs, so I would not be able to compete there. Olympic weightlifting is different from powerlifting. Olympic weightlifting has the clean and jerk and the snatch, which is putting weights over your head. Powerlifting is squat, bench, and deadlift. It's very simple, static movements. And the sport has grown a lot, but it is not on a national level. As far as recognition, it's not there with strongman or Olympic lifting. I wish it was, because then it would make more sense for someone to pursue a high level, because it can potentially have negative effects on your body. I deal with some hip issues now, but I survived very well for the amount of for the level that I got to. I did compete in 2022 at a pro invite meet, and that was a lot of fun, but it was my last meet, and I did okay, but I was also hurt going into it, so that was part of it. And I really couldn't pursue strength at a high level and business at a high level.
That's still impressive regardless.
Thank you. Yeah.
So you were saying like pursuing like your business versus your like
Mhm.
strength. Like how do you think your life would be different if you chose to instead just go all out, like be a pro fitness, or not pro fitness, but like pro power lifter instead of doing your business and stuff? Was that like a hard choice to
I'd
make?
be more broke.
Yeah.
Probably physically and financially. There's not a lot of money in powerlifting. And I never I can sell my ideas and my vision, but it's really hard for me to sell someone else's idea and vision.
Was that kind of your like turning point, like the money aspect? Like, oh, I'll make more as a business owner, or was it like more fulfilling as a business owner?
It was a little bit of the physical side and the financial side, but I could take like a exploded view of my business world, and the harder I pursued powerlifting, the worse my business got.
It was just like
And so it was a scale. The more I put into my powerlifting, the more it took away. I guess not a scale per se. I don't know how to explain that, because
Seesaw, kind of.
if you were to put into, the more I put into powerlifting, the more it took away from my business. And so then I started pursuing business, and then of course powerlifting was all I knew. I did it for 12 years. And so when I stepped away from that, I almost didn't know what to do with myself. And so I kind of let myself go in the realm of health. And this year I made a point to get back on track. And so I actually lost 40 pounds in that process, and I'm recomping my body right now, and I'm probably going to lose another 10 or so pounds.
Congratulations.
But other than I'm really sore today from squats yesterday. I can just take off and run if I want to, and I weigh 295 pounds. So I'm a big guy. I'm still pretty mobile and agile though, and I know that at some point in my life, I'm 37 now. When I get to 40s and 50s, I'll need to be more concerned about my body weight being lower. Right now, I'm concerned about just being healthy and active. And so that body weight reduction will come down as I get older. Yeah. You don't see too many 300-pound 60, 70-year-olds out there. So, yeah.
Was there any specific values that kind of directed your business decisions, like any morals or beliefs that you held that kind of directed you into this career path?
Yeah. So one of the things I've struggled with business is I want to be honest, and there's a lot of when your business isn't doing well, you can't just tell everybody, and that feels very dishonest. But if I were to say, hey, my business is not doing well to everybody, and there was a lot of times in the past 5 years that it was struggling, and that's just part of being in business and growing a new business. And I started from zero and built it up. If you were to tell everybody my business is not doing well, you're going to get some people that show some support, but then you're going to get a lot of people that just move away from you. And so you have to present a way. And my wife helped me a lot through this. She says, you're not being dishonest, because you know the end goal and but all of the hills and the mud that you have to get through to get there. But if you that's just part of the process. That's the heavy load that you have to carry throughout the process to get to the end. And so honesty and service and attitude is my 3 core values for this business. Service really comes down to, I'm here to serve my community. I'm here to serve my members. I'm not here to just take. So I've always pushed myself out there to people, sometimes too much, and so it's taken away from me, and I've had to pull back a little bit, and so there's got to be a good balance there. But I'm always there to serve, and you can ask anybody in the gym if they need something from me or they have a question. I'm there to help out with a good service based attitude, and then it leads to attitude as well. A negative attitude is never going to do well in life or in business. So I always express a positive attitude, and I think that serves me well and serves the business well.
Awesome. I think we're
You gotta close it up.
about out of time.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for your
Y'all
time.
got some good notes?
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
Good.
Full
Good.
page.
Yeah, this is a really cool business. You're a very interesting
Yeah.
person. So.
Thank
I
you.
really like
Yeah.
your story. I think it's
Yeah, your
really
story's
cool, how you
so
went
cool.
through so much and then you ended up here. I think it's
Yeah.
really cool.
Well, thank you.